So, here are some ideas I have for making injecting medicine better and more accessible. I have talked about this in previous videos, so I'll also link those videos down below. The first one is instead of having one needle that goes into you, having a few needles that go into you that are skinnier and easy to deliver less medicine. This means that the push of the medicine coming out will be less dramatic, first of all. Less dramatic, feel less pain, as injury heals up faster, and we can do it more shallow or more places. Another one is that we could also then have potentially, it's easier to find hit a good blood stream or blood section if it's hard to find that in that person due just to some people having it hard. We could also instead have it that it injects it more slowly over a longer time, each needle, separately, and that could mean maybe less pain. Other ways we could do it is maybe we make it cool and numb so it's less painful, it's less of a reaction with a slow injection. And a slow injection also may be beneficial in that it spreads out the stuff and causes less damage, unlike a fast one. It also might be if we find a one way of a needle to inject, and this is more the multi-injection again, combination of vials at once, then it might also mean that we have to have less independent shots. So you can combine the COVID and flu shots, you can get both of them at the same time. What if you had one needle that injected both a bunch of needles instead of having to inject one first, then bring out the other needle and inject another one? That could also save time, and so on. And having it over a more spread out area could also mean more surface area and it absorbs slightly better because of the higher area for it to absorb in the first place. So hopefully that makes sense. Another idea is to use a vacuum to actually pull on some of the skin and stuff, and then use that to then you inject it. The reason why I say this is because some injections or some injection they actually want you to pinch up a piece of skin and stuff to inject it, to really get it in needle into a bit of fat or muscle tissue, nicely. Now, if you're just one person doing it, that might be difficult. Or it just might be or it can even just wish to have a hands free just for whatever other task, make it easier for them. Besides that, maybe you could design other device that pins instead of fingers, maybe some type of clip, or maybe if you use the multi-inject needle, you can make the needles again not as long, and then you don't have to pinch the skin as much. So right there, another advantage of the multi-inject needle idea. Another idea would be to inject some fat or something, or some other substance along with what we normally inject. Now, the reason why is that fat can actually increase the absorptivity of a bunch of chemicals, including some vitamins and stuff. It can also act as a coolant and coating and more of a lube to make stuff go down more smoothly. It can also slow the release of substances into the body so they better and more easily absorbed by the body. They can also act as anti-inflammatory in some ways. Now, some fat, and inflammation later on is what causes a lot of pain. Now, some fat does have some problems in that they can cause blood clots and stuff. So we might only be able to do this for certain patients. However, some fat actually helps against blood clots, and it's complicated, so it depends on the size of the fat particles, how they bunch up together, people's metabolism stuff. So this will be something more to thoroughly research and displaying it one way or another one. But it's an idea I just want to put in. Another idea is to have what one can call a needle in place. And this will be a device that instead of having it all inject once quickly, you have the device hold itself in that location and then slowly injects you so it's less painful and so your body can better absorb stuff. We could do this in a couple ways. One could be more like the annoying IVF way with a bunch of tape and stuff. Another idea is to have a patch that has tiny micro needles that might not even see that this pinches the first surface layer and injects substance slowly over many, many hours. That's also might be less painful because you might not be going through this deep tissue, and it also might heal faster if it's that shallow. Another idea is just to design a device that, besides the pinching, besides the clips and stuff, someone just has to hold for a bit longer, but it's worth it, and you can control the speed of injection. You could also make one that has quickly injects like a solid thing that slowly dissolves in the body, which is not the most nice, not the funnest, but could work. So some other ideas that I forgot to put on here is we could make formulas that can be injected into more places in the body that they act the same or with warning. For example, different parts of the body have different amount of fat and muscle. Fat absorbs, and that can vary from person to person. Fat absorbs some stuff much more than muscle and vice versa. They also interact with stuff differently and metabolize stuff differently. Then we have blood vessels. Different parts of the body have different amounts of blood vessels, different speeds the blood is flowing through those blood vessels, different healing abilities. Then we have, besides that, we have different parts of the body. The blood goes to different places first, then later. So we have that thing to now concern about. Then we have different parts of the body have different pain sensors and sensory systems, and it changes with the depth too. Much more that if a skinny small needle, the multi-inject needles might actually be more regular on different parts of the body, and other technology discussed might make more part of the body more regular. Besides that, you also use different parts of your body differently. Some people sit on your butt a lot more, so that's a different pressure than you have in the arm, which you move more in different ways. So that's a different thing right there. So we could use maybe ways to scan the body to figure out what's the best injection site, such as the scanners now that can see blood vessels that are a little bit underneath the skin. There's ways of kind of detecting the fat percentage and muscle percentage locally. We can have people fill out little questionnaires beforehand, which might help out. Another one is that, another idea I forgot to mention is that for multi-inject needle, maybe we do use a cellular needle. We only inject a little bit of chemical for the first time, and then we just do it over a couple of days. It's not as effective as one big one. Or we use a little needle that doesn't go as deep, but we have to inject more of the substance over a longer period of time for people's comfort. Or we could use one that we inject some of it by needle and some of it by another one, or breathing it in, something like that. And we can try to get both the best of both worlds. But one method might be slower, or not as much of the medicine gets in, but it is it's less painful and traumatic, and it might be the slow release might be better than the injection. So that might be an idea. And another idea that I have had in the past I've talked about is actually injecting something that actually makes the chemical we want to give off. Maybe genetically engineered bacteria that will die off and can't produce, but it produces more of the vaccine, whatever you're injecting. So you have to inject less amount into the body for a little bit, reducing the needle size and everything. And it's from trauma from the needle. Well, thank you very much for listening. Please like and subscribe. I will link videos down below that are also relevant that I made. And please like and please share this with your friends. If you have any comments or questions, leave in the comment section below. Again, thank you very much. Goodbye.